Are we starting? Is this the start?
This
Do we
is always our
start?
start, right?
Yeah.
I'll just come in
These
here and
days.
Well, let's not keep these assholes waiting.
Trekcast.
there we go, ladies and gentlemen, the galaxy's most unpredictable podcast. That's Daniel. That's Daniel. I'm Chad. Dan is not here.
Oh,
It's just the two of us today.
yeah.
But hey, so be it. We're going to do a little supplemental. It's not our ordinary show, although there'll be some ordinary flavor to it. If this is your first time listening to this podcast, then enjoy it. It's
This
not
is
always
like
like this.
extra crispy to our original recipe.
There you go. Very good. I like that. That's a good one.
Yeah. It's always got to be food related with us.
Oh yeah, it does. Yes.
Yeah.
We've had several food casts. So
Yeah, we tend to do that.
we
Yeah.
do. So it's been about a week. What's new on your end? Anything you've done to bring honor to your house? That's kind of our new thing, right? I mean,
Yeah,
like we
that is our
have
new
to
thing,
do that now.
I
Yeah.
rub honor to the empire or glory to the
Yeah.
empire. Let's see. What have I done? Well, the fasting is working. I'm down to shirt size, so that's pretty cool.
Hey, good for you.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Congratulations.
Yeah.
I
so
would
that
be able to
makes-
say that I wouldn't recognize you when I see you in Vegas, but then again, I've
Yeah,
never met
you
you in
haven't met
person,
me.
so it wouldn't matter.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. And I've looked into Vegas. We definitely need to have a talk offline
Yeah,
about that.
we do.
Well, not just planning, but like how many days are we going to be at the convention? Because it's just a lot of panels as opposed to like things to do, you know?
Right.
Do we really want to go and hang out at panels while we're in Vegas, or do we want to spend a day and do that and then maybe go do other stuff?
Oh, I want to mix. I want to
I want
mix.
to mix too, but I
You
don't
know
know.
me. You know my thought process on meeting the actors of anything, whether it's Trek or anything else, right? And my thought process there is I would rather meet the characters they play other than the actual living person themselves, right? Like I would rather meet Jean-Luc Picard than Patrick Stewart, even though
Right.
Patrick Stewart's pretty freaking awesome. And the only exception I would probably ever make to that would be William Shatner, because he's the Shat. I mean, come on, it's the OG.
Right.
So, but
my thought is, I don't want to just watch people talk for
no.
and then to
Well,
pay
we're gonna
like
have too much to do, honestly. Like, we don't need to sit and like for me, from my standpoint, we can talk again. We can talk about this offline. But for me, from my standpoint, I look at this as two things, right? Actually, three things. First and foremost is our time together, the three of us, right?
That's right.
And whatever time we get with David and Darren, right? That's great.
Yeah.
That's the most important thing to me.
Same.
The second thing is the networking with all the other fans of Trek and or fans of Trekcast while we're there. That's the second most important thing to me. And the third thing that's on my list of three, and these are the only things that matter to me. Anything else is just icing on the cake or fun or whatever. But the third thing that matters is our networking the show in terms of a business perspective to whoever the hell is there selling merchandise, whatever executives or producers or writers we happen to run across. I mean, all of that stuff, right? It's a business building event if you want to look at it that way.
Yeah.
That's my thought.
Yeah. My thought is the convention itself will be fun.
Oh yeah.
But I've been to conventions before, not Star Trek ones, but other ones. Yeah. And it's really just like there's Artist Alley, there's the merch tables, and then there's go listen to people talk for hours. Yeah. And do we really want to do that when the majority of the fun is outside the convention? Like even just hanging near the ball where all the Trekkies hang out and
yeah. I think that right there is the most fun, is getting to meet everybody and see everybody and fellow Trekkies and just talking Trek for 3 straight days or whatever it is. That I think is the biggest kicker for me.
And then the other thing to consider is I'm not sure how big Vegas is going to be again with the COVID and everything, but also they're planning on having 3 of these conventions this year alone. There's Vegas and there's 2 other ones.
Yeah.
So that kind of dilutes it a little bit.
Well, we'll see. It's the first one,
right?
Isn't it? It's still the first one.
I believe it is the first one. Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't know. I mean, this could go either way. It could be huge, and it could just be tons of people, or it could feel a little light. It's going to be one or the other. It's not going to. I don't think it's going to be this middle ground where it's like, holy crap. For me, it's probably going to feel like it's a ton of people no matter what, because I've never been to one of these before. I mean, I've been to a couple of Comic-Cons, but that's a different story, and those were just freaking packed. Like you couldn't even walk. But any rate.
Yeah.
All right. No, I mean that's my thought, and that's why I was saying that about the business cards. I know I did a poll online on Twitter, over on Trekcast. Is it Trekcast TNG on Twitter? Or is it Trekcast? I forget. Anyway,
I think it's
one
TNG.
of the two.
Trekcast
Yeah, I think it's TNG. Yeah. So, which of course stands for the next generation. So again, if this is your first time listening, there's a lot you have to catch up on here. But at any rate,
yeah, for sure.
There is a lot. So the show's been going since 2008. So there's a lot there.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
We've been going since we've been going since what, 2017, December 2017?
Yeah, something like that.
4 years almost. I mean, good grief.
Almost. Yeah.
So that's a long time. Anyway,
Yeah.
so no, I put a poll up saying, should we take stickers or should we take business cards? And it was overwhelmingly stickers. And I think that's correct, but I'm also going to have some business cards made. I think that's very important that we take some of those for that third thing I talked about, the networking with. And I'm fine with if we come across some people who are selling merch or doing things that are really spectacular and really cool, I'm fine shilling for those people on the podcast and not making them pay anything. I mean, yeah. And if in some cases if people do want to pay for some advertisement, then fine. But in most part, it'll just be there to propagate each other. So
yeah,
we talk about.
And I really want to go to the haunted museum. So
yeah. Well, there's a lot of those little side things that I know we've talked about doing that that'll be a lot of fun.
The haunted museum that I want to go to, like, it was featured on BuzzFeed, and like you have to sign a waiver before you come in because that's how they hype you. Yeah, like, we're not responsible if a demon follows you home. Okay.
Okay, yeah, that's funny.
Yeah. Whatever. Yeah. So.
All right. Well, cool, man.
Yeah.
Let's. You got news, or I know this is a supplemental, but.
Oh yeah. I got some news.
Okay, we can get right into that, I guess. Good. Oh, and how I brought glory to my house this last week. I almost forgot about that. I sold a very nice equipment package. I'll just put it that way this week.
Nice.
So very large. It was nice. So okay. Cool. Yep. Right. Let's get back into it, and we'll go to the news.
Attention all hands. It's time for Star Trek news.
Ooh. Yeah. So I've got some Star Trek news in here, but a lot of it is just nerdy and silly. So we'll start with the Star Trek topic, though, first. And this comes to us from theheavy.com. And the headline is Star Trek Actors Drunken Theft Incident.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
Is it Cass again?
Huh?
Is the Star Trek actor Cass? What's her name? That plays Cass?
No. Better than that.
Oh,
Better
boy.
Than that. Yeah. We are talking about one Mr. Trip Tucker. Connor.
No.
Yes.
What did he do?
So apparently at the recent GalaxyCon, John Billingsley and Dominic Keating were doing a panel, and Trip was supposed to be there, but could not attend for reasons. It doesn't say why, just couldn't attend.
Yeah.
And so, they're his buddies, so they're giving him crap.
Yeah.
They decided to share an embarrassing story about him.
Oh, no.
Yeah. So apparently one night during the show's run, there was an after party for, I don't know, an episode or whatever it was. Just they were having a work party. And apparently Phlox and Trip were closing down the lot, is how Phlox put it. And their significant others were trying to get them out of there. And that's when Connor Trinneer climbed over the bar, grabbed a couple bottles of booze off the bar, handed one to Phlox, and then snuck one himself and took off. And and apparently the next day he was sweating bullets thinking he was in trouble. So this had to have been early on in the show.
Yeah.
And apparently got a phone call from showrunner Rick Berman. And I guess he had originally missed the call, and Trinneer was terrified that he was in trouble. But it ends up they just wanted to talk to him about changing his character's nickname, because apparently the original nickname for Trip was Spike.
Oh,
and they decided not to go with it because of Buffy the Vampire Slayer was on the air at the time. and they have a character named Spike. Yeah, so they went with Trip. Yeah,
Spike is horrible.
yeah, Spike's really bad. So
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
sure much better. Yeah. So yeah, so he wasn't in trouble for the booze, and John Billingsley went on to explain that really he should have been in trouble because the booze was lower grade and not very good. So that was the real trouble. So,
That's funny.
yeah, I thought that was a fun story.
Yeah, so those kinds of stories are kind of fun to hear
Yeah.
on panels. But
Yeah.
these people are people.
They're people.
I mean,
Yeah,
they're no.
who doesn't
they're-
love free shit, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or shit you can get for free, supposedly.
Yeah, supposedly. I mean, who hasn't taken pens from work or something like that?
Oh yeah, paper.
Yeah, it happens. It happens.
Have you seen my stapler?
Yeah, exactly. I'm gonna burn this place down. Next news story comes to us from the Hollywood Reporter, and box office for A Quiet Place 2, Shush Harder, holds at $57 million. So not bad for a COVID opening to get 57 mil. Apparently, Quiet Place 2 is getting pretty good reviews.
Yeah.
And has made 57 million so far over the well, because it's Memorial Day weekend. So
Oh yeah, they'll probably double that by the time we get to Tuesday.
I don't know if double, because some theaters aren't fully open yet, and then some people are hesitant to go to the theater. So
Well, it's a
they'll
3-day
actually-
weekend. That's the only
sure,
reason I'm
but I
saying
don't
that.
know.
But yeah.
Yeah.
My daughter went and saw it last night,
Really?
Friday night. We saw the original movie, which was just fantastic. I mean, it's very rare anymore that we get a movie that has a very different take on whatever, right? It's a very original take, kind of like The Arrival. That was very original.
Mm-hmm.
But then for it to stoke kind of a franchise is what they've done already with it, right? Here's number 2, right?
Yeah.
And they're doing it without spending a whole ton of money. I forget what the budget they said for this one was, but it was less than the first one, I think.
Yeah, I think so. I think that's
So,
right.
I mean, this is a franchise at this point because it's very interesting. Like, it's just, I haven't seen the second one yet, obviously, but I'm looking forward to going and watching it.
Yeah, I want to see it too. It looks good. I just haven't gone yet.
Yeah, the first one was excellent. I loved it.
Yeah.
If
No,
you
now
haven't
that
seen
I'm
the first
vaccinated.
one, go watch the first one and then go watch the second one. You'll love it.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I got my second shot on Friday.
Oh, nice.
Yep.
Nice.
Yep.
Right on. Okay. Next news story comes to us from comicbooks.com. And here we go with some chisme. Do you know what chisme is, Chad?
No.
So chisme is the Spanish word for basically gossip.
Okay.
So we're gonna have some nerdy gossip here. Some
I need a
nerdy
clip that says learning that has Dora saying learning Spanish for every time you come up.
Shouldn't it be Diego because it's me?
Yeah, there you go. There you go.
Yeah.
I'm writing that down.
Yeah, I'm sure you'll do it. I'm sure you'll do it. Anyways, so allegedly on comicnews.com, it has been reported allegedly the reveal of the Sinister Six in Spider-Man No Way Home. So this is coming from Collider. They're saying that they know who the Sinister Six is going to be. Right now, officially, we do not know that the Sinister Six is in this. We don't even know who the villain is officially, but they're speculating there's 6 of them. So here's our 6. Here's our half dozen of Doom.
Okay.
The leader would be Green Goblin Willem Dafoe.
Oh, they're gonna bring William Dafoe back
because they can, and it's comics, and they don't give a shit.
Yeah, I understand that, but it's just kind of like interesting. Okay.
Yeah. So Willem Dafoe, Doc Ock, Alfred Molina, Thomas Hayden Church, the Sandman, and then from the Amazing Spider-Man series, we would get the Lizard, Electro, and the Rhino.
Oh man.
Yeah.
This just sounds like a train wreck. Well, I don't know. I mean, so far these new Spider-Mans with Tom Holland, they've really done a good job of pulling it off and not making it a complete train wreck. I mean, the one with Mysterio, I thought, oh geez, this is gonna be a holy shit. But no, it turned out great.
Yeah.
So I don't know, but boy, I mean, this is the problem with. It seems like this is always the problem with Spider-Man in particular. They always eventually try to do way too much in one movie with the villains. They just somehow they constantly have to do too much. It's okay if Spider-Man just fights one guy in the movie, right? I mean, it doesn't have to be 2, 3, 4, or 6.
Right. And you know, we don't know if this is even the lineup. We don't even know. I mean, shoot, he could be fighting, you know, Condiment King for all we know. We really don't know. This is just rampant speculation.
Well, that's probably what they're going to post over on Giant Freaking Robot, that he's fighting Condiment Man. You know, Stay Puft Marshmallow Man and the Ghostbusters versus Spider-Man. Yeah.
Right. Well, I would watch that.
I
mean, I guess officially we know that Alfred Molina's in it because he didn't shut up and talked about being in the movie.
Yeah.
And Jamie Foxx has also said that Electro's in it. So, and then on that Instagram post. So, yeah, we'll see.
Interesting. Yeah, I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah.
Well, if it ties in with the Doctor Strange and the multi-universe madness thing, then you know I could start to see a little bit of a. Boy, it just gets so dicey at this point, right? Because right now we don't really know what the storyline moving forward is. I guess that's the thing that's kind of dicey with it in my mind, because we don't know. You know, we had this huge storyline over the years with Iron Man and the Avengers and building up to all of that with Thanos. So we kind of could understand all this weird, crazy stuff we would hear about what they were going to do. But now it's like another start over with what they're building up with again. And so who knows? It's interesting. It's fun.
It makes me wonder if they're going to do a deal. Like, I could see this. So he somehow gets out of the MCU in No Way Home, and it like ends with him meeting up with like Maguire and Garfield. Like, that's the ending of it, you know? So that it's the cliffhanger for you to watch all the Sony Spider-Verse movies. So then that's always connected into their universe. And then somehow after like 5 or 6 movies, he then comes back to the MCU. That's how I could see something like this playing off.
Yeah, because you've got all of that over there with that side of it with Spider-Man and all the things that go into that. But then you've also got the X-Men, the Fantastic Four, and whoever's left over still in the Avengers and Marvel itself. So, you know, that's a lot.
And I thought it was like I was thinking about this after all this came out. I kind of think it would be a smart play to, like, let's say you want to put Spider-Man in the Venom movies, right? But it doesn't have to be Peter Parker Spider-Man. Why not do Miles Morales? So then you could establish him in that universe and then ultimately bring him over to the MCU.
Yep.
You know?
That would be smart, and that would be cool. If all they would have to do is put little tiny cameos of those characters in all of these upcoming movies to be able to tie them together at some point. You know, they just have to have little hints. You wouldn't have to spend a lot of money or time on it. You just have to have a cameo here and there to be able to do that, which is exactly what Marvel did in the very beginning when they would drop little cameos after the credits in some cases, you know? So, hey, if anybody can do it and if anybody can pull it off, I have faith in Marvel that they can pull it off.
Oh, for sure.
I mean, because they've proven it for 15 years. Since when? When did the first Iron Man movie come out? 2008, 2009, 2007, somewhere in there?
2009, something like that.
Yeah, so I mean, they've done it for over a decade. So I see no reason why they wouldn't continue to be able to do it. They're smart guys over there. Now, if this was DC we were talking about,
it'd be
it's a train wreck.
It's a train wreck. Yeah, we'd have like Cyborg Uncle Ben by now or something.
Oh man, which is a total shame because, you know, growing up, I was more of a DC guy than a Marvel guy, you know, very much so. And I think a lot of people were really, I mean, because the DC, you know, in the 80s and 90s and 70s, 80s and 90s anyway, the DC comics were strong and the Marvel was not.
You know, I've sent you guys videos of these guys before. Screen Crush.
Yeah.
They did a breakdown a couple days ago on the differences between the DCEU and the MCU. And fundamentally how the heroes look at the world, and it's a really good breakdown and really explains the differences. I'll send it to you. It's very interesting.
Send it over. I'll watch it. Or listen to it. I got a huge drive coming up on my next month, the whole month of June. Every Monday and Friday. I will probably have anywhere from 6 to 10-hour drives one way or the other.
Oh, geez.
Yeah. So, yep, every single
Yeah.
Monday and Friday for the whole month of June.
Okay.
Well, and this week it's Tuesday and Friday, which really sucks.
Yeah. Oh.
Yep.
Well, our next news story comes from us from the AV Club, and also some more chisme. The Zack Snyder's Man of Steel was almost part of the Dark Knight universe. So Zack Snyder can't shut his mouth and is telling us more and more about the plans that didn't happen, and making
Which
us.
should have happened apparently, because every time the guy starts talking about stuff, it's intriguing.
It is intriguing. I don't know about this though. So he was talking to the Happy, Sad, Confused podcast, and he dropped the little nugget that originally the plan was to interlock Man of Steel with the Dark Knight, so the Christopher Nolan trilogy of films. And because of the way the Dark Knight Rises ended, their Batman would have been John Blake's Batman, so Joseph Gordon-Levitt. So not, yeah, not Christian Bale. So kind of interesting. Yeah.
There's just some movies that when you look at them now, with the hindsight being 2020, if you were to replace the actor with or actress with just about anybody, those films would instantly be nowhere near as good as they were, right? So Dark Knight without Christian Bale would absolutely suck. Dark Knight without Heath Ledger would absolutely suck. Right? I mean, those two guys, that second movie is still by far my favorite Batman movie ever. Those two guys made just a one hell of an acting job there. Anyway, so same thing with like the JJ verse Trek, right? Chris Pine.
Yeah.
If he wasn't Kirk, that probably would have sucked. I mean, seriously, just one actor's change, even though all the rest of the casting was probably the best casting job that anybody's done in any movie ever. That one change would probably make it suck. Or if you changed out Bones or you changed out Spock, even if you just changed any of those, Zachary Quinto, right? He did a fantastic job, even though they didn't give him much to do with Into Darkness. But
I would argue that Carl Urban could have been a decent Kirk. Even though he was great as Bones, he's really good at doing whatever you need him to do.
Yeah, that's probably true. I mean, Carl Urban's just okay. So there are exceptions to my rule of meeting people. Exactly, there are my exceptions to meeting people, and Carl Urban's probably one of those. And that changed for me with the series The Boys, which is just freaking fantastic.
It's great.
It's awesome. If you haven't watched that series over on Amazon, go watch it. That is just The Boys is fantastic. So and it's got Jack Quaid in it, who is Boimler. So there's your Trek tie-in right there.
There you go. There you go. So all right, and then I've got another news story, and then I've got a list, but we can.
Okay.
Yeah. So last news story, currently on eBay. Well, okay. Have you played the game Among Us?
I have a couple times with my kids. Yeah.
Okay. So you're aware of it.
Yeah. The imposter and all that.
Right now. Somebody has put a chicken nugget on eBay that is in the shape of an Among Us character. Looks exactly like one for a chicken nugget. Here, let me put it in the Skype chat so you can get a better look at it. See what you think. The current bid on this thing is over $14,000.
Oh, you're kidding.
Yeah. For this chicken nugget.
That's stupid.
Look at the picture. Does it not look like an Among Us?
It does, yeah, but that's still, I mean.
Still. Right. So
how is it if someone's bidding that much on a chicken nugget, we haven't somehow gotten like a donation of like 10 grand? I mean, I'm just saying out loud.
Weren't you offering to get a tattoo of anything for $300,000?
Well, it was $300,000 split 3 ways between the 3 of us, and we were all getting tattoos.
Well, I didn't say I was going to get a tattoo.
Oh yeah, hold on now. It was $100K a piece.
I don't know what you're talking about.
That's funny.
Yeah. So that's
grief.
Yeah. Let's do the feedback and then we'll do this list. We'll make the list kind of like in lieu of the main topic.
Is that 14K someone bid their stimulus check?
Probably, yeah. It's their PPP money. Like it's supposed to be their business, and they're like, "Nah, we're gonna get this nugget.
We're getting this chicken nugget, and we're gonna put it up on the wall in the bar because why not?
We're closing down the taco stand. We got to get a nugget."
Yeah.
Yeah.
But honey, it's a nugget.
Yeah, it's one nugget.
Yeah, I know. You can't even eat it either because like that's the most expensive meal you've ever had in your life. Like what? It's gonna go. It's anyway. It's just so stupid all the way around.
I mean, my first thought is, don't the nuggets go bad? But then I wonder if all the chemicals in them, like, do they?
No, I mean there's a place here in Lee Summit. I call it Pete's Place, but it's one of those advanced nutrition smoothie shop places.
Mm.
And he's got a when he first opened in like 2012, 2013, he bought a Happy Meal from McDonald's and took everything out of its wrapper, the fries and the burger, and set them on a like a pie plate thing with a glass lid over the top of it. And it's been sitting there ever since, and it looks exactly the same as it did the day he bought it in 2012.
Oh, that's horrifying.
Isn't it horrifying? It's a cheeseburger and a fry and a thing, and it looks exactly the same. It hasn't molded, it hasn't nothing. And
then people give it to their kids. Here, eat this.
Yep, eat this.
Yeah.
Holy crap.
Yeah.
So anyway, all right, let's go to the feedback.
Yeah, let's go to the feedback.
Hailing frequencies. Open.
Okay, I'll start with the coffee account. I got that.
Yeah, let's do that.
And then I'll go to the emails. So 3 days ago from Eric Woods, he says, in optimistic expectation of attending the Las Vegas convention in August, I started re-listening to the podcast from the beginning with David and Jason in 2008.
Oh, wow.
And it struck me how lucky we are to have had all these years of Trek great discussion, and how glad I am that you three have kept it alive. Thanks. Hey, I appreciate that, Eric. I mean, that's the reason the three of us kind of came together and did this. If you don't know the story, I'll say it real fast, right? So all three of us had listened to Trekcast over the years, Daniel and Dan longer than me. And then, just, to my chagrin, I discovered it was off the air probably 6-7 months after it had actually kind of gone off the air, and David and Darren had stopped recording. And so I was like, I want to continue to do this thing again. This is too much fun. I got to do this. And I've done a podcast before. So I made a post in the Facebook group and said, hey, this thing is dead. I want to do it. I want to kick it off. Anybody want to join me and do it? And we'll just keep doing it ourselves. And lo and behold, Dan and Daniel had already talked about this the year prior, before you had some of your heart issues. Yeah. And you guys were down to do it. And so we just got in contact with David and we just started doing it. It didn't take us very long from the time we first started talking, I think in like October, to the first time we recorded a show in December. Yeah. And then put it up. And funny thing about that is it was our second episode that got aired, not our first one. So that was just a whole nother, go listen to that. And you're like, wait, this can't be their first one. They didn't even introduce themselves.
Yeah. Our first episode, we introduced ourselves and explained our backgrounds, and
none of that got aired.
Yeah.
So anyway, but and up to this date, ever since we've been doing this in 2017, the three of us have not met in person yet. Nope. So that's why this Vegas thing is so near and dear to my heart. And to all of us, really. So we appreciate that, Eric. We have a lot of fun doing it. I know that we kid and joke about, we just show up and just do a show and that's it. But we actually do put some effort into it. Well, Dan doesn't, but I'm kidding.
He's talent. He just shows up on set.
That's right. He is. He's the talent. He just shows up and just weighs in and then walks off. He's that good. The two of us have to prepare more.
We have to call his manager, see if it's okay that he shows up.
Yeah. So, but no, we really enjoy it. It's been a blast. It's been a good time. So thank you very much for that post. It means a lot to me, Eric.
Yeah.
As it does to all three of us. Yeah. Okay. And then we've got 3 from Daryl.
Here we go.
Oh yeah, here we go. This is good. So here's the first one from Daryl 15 hours ago. He says, is Gaius Baltar innocent in the destruction of the 13 colonies in the miniseries and when he became president in season 3? I see yes on both accounts, but barely. But it was all part of the plan. Yeah. I don't see how you can not hold Gaius Baltar guilty of just completely screwing everything up for everybody. Even though he really didn't have the intentions of screwing everything up for everybody.
When I named my dog Baltar after Dr. Gaius Baltar, my intention was I like the irony of naming man's best friend after the betrayer of the human race.
Yep.
So that's what I will say about Gaius Baltar.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. And I don't, that's one of the things I love about that series is all those characters are so well done and so thought out that you can still, with an objective eye, look at Gaius Baltar and say, well, he's not actually the bad guy, but he is. You know what I mean? Like you can sit there and kind of look at it from a couple different perspectives, and because the character is deep, right? All the characters in there are very deep. They do a good job on the character development. Writers of Discovery, take notice. So,
much like Gul Dukat, he did nothing wrong.
Well, yeah. I mean, really, from his perspective, for the glory of Cardassia, he did nothing wrong. So,
yeah.
I mean, the Majorans are just crap anyway. So, all right. So then we got another post from Daryl, another donation. So appreciate all these, sir. 13 hours ago, he was up all night apparently. I would like to see a sequel series where their descendants find the Galactica and remaining fleet floating in space, reverse engineers the ships, and goes back to the colonies and finds survivors of humans and Cylons learn to live together. That's part one. That's a cool idea.
Yeah, that's neat.
Because they took that whole series and turned it into this big circular loop, right?
Yeah, time is a flat circle.
Yeah, all the lore of whatever we had of that show before has been turned into just a whatever happened before will happen again, and it just keeps doing it over and over and over and over and over again, which I don't know, there's some interesting theories about why we are here on planet Earth, and it's because we're here because we started over from somewhere else. But anyway.
I mean, that's smart for future reboots.
Well, they're doing a reboot now, so who knows what they're doing, right? I mean, their reboot could really not be a reboot.
Wait, you dropped a nugget there about that we might have an extraterrestrial origin for humanity. And oh my God, I love talking about that idea. It's so good.
We could because, aliens.
Right. So there is some evidence of it, I will say.
Yeah, let's talk about that first. Yeah, let's talk about that for a second. But I'm going to get to Daryl's next post because he had a part 1 and part 2, right? Yeah. So that I don't want to cut his thing off in the middle here. We appreciate it, Daryl. All right, so that was part 1. So part 2 is the humans are inventing resurrection, and the Cylons are becoming organic, repeating the cycle like Cabal and original Earth. But the descendants from our Earth kind find them, bringing conflict with the colonies, breaking the cycle. God's plan with something else instead, as in Earth becomes powerful again and then goes and finds the colonies, and now it's a problem, right? So yeah, I get, no, that's a good parallel. That's not a bad idea, Daryl. You put some thought into that one. That's good.
Yeah,
that's good. I mean, if I was a writer, and I am, but I don't have time, I would probably write something out, like a short story for that to post on this.
Yeah,
I don't had more time. I need to make a clone of myself who can then just do all the things I think about doing, and I could just tell him to do it. Because I just never have time to do it.
I would love to see Multiplicity with Chad.
Yeah. Wouldn't that? Oh my God. Could you imagine how painful that would be to get on our Facebook group if there was multiples of me posting? And but each one was slightly dumber.
But in the movie, like there's the dumb one. And I wonder what that Chad would be like. Would they all like pineapple on pizza?
They probably would. There'd be one, though, who would be wrong and not like pineapple on pizza. That's funny.
That's funny.
All right, so those are our donations. We appreciate it, guys. Keep those coming. That's on the coffee account. The website for that, if you just search for coffee, KO space FI space Trekcast, you'll come across it. And all those donations are going to go towards whatever the hell we're going to do at STLV, which we hear us talking about every week now. A lot happening there. Some giveaways, some stickers, some cards. I don't know, other stuff. 3D prints, which is one of the things I'm going to talk about today. Maybe we'll see how far we get into all this, because we could talk for hours about who knows what.
For sure.
Yeah. So. But anyway, feedback over on the email side. So Joel and I, I'll tell you, I didn't say anything last week and I should have. Joel and I have been playing nonstop matches of chess now for probably 3 weeks. And I've won 1 out of like 9. He's just totally crushing me. And sometimes I blame me just not paying attention and just making a stupid move, which just totally collapses the rest of the game. Because I've been busy, but that's an excuse. I should be watching. Sometimes our games take an entire week to get through because we just, I make a move and then 6 hours later he makes a move and the next morning I make a move kind of thing. So he did send me an email, which I saw yesterday because sometimes I don't check the chat is wrong at Gmail email every day like I should, asking for another match. And the answer is yes. We'll get another match going. I'm
Nice.
always up. It's just work is busy and everything else. So we'll get that going. And then Akil Ahmed sent us a email and he says, "Hey guys, how's it going? Hope you're all well. You were talking about fan-made songs, and here's one, guys, you must have missed, and it's Star Trek Girl by Tessa, and it's over on YouTube." And
okay.
I guess I could play it real quick. That's the only other feedback we have in that email. I could pull it up real fast if you want.
Or do you want to send it to me and I'll play it at the end of the episode, or?
Oh yeah, I'll do that. I'll just forward it to you and we'll put it on the end of the episode. Perfect.
Okay, yeah, let's do that.
I have actually listened to this one before.
Okay.
But yeah, it's pretty good. It's pretty good.
Cool.
Right,
let's see.
Yep, I do. Here we go.
Feedback wise, I really don't have a lot. Glenn wanted to know if we would be taunting Dan since he's not here today. We've done a little bit of that, all in good nature.
Yeah.
We did have a question that I put up, which is the better duo, Jadzia Dax or Eddie Brock Venom? And it seems like it's pretty split, honestly.
Yeah. Well, I break it down as like I was telling you. If it's a fight, then it's definitely Venom who wins.
Oh, for sure.
He just eats Jadzia in 2 seconds flat, and the thing's over, right? But if it's anything other than that, then Jadzia probably wins. I mean, if it's a battle of wits or it's a battle of brains, Jadzia wins, hands down.
Inconceivable if it's a battle of wits. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. But I would agree with you too. Yeah. Anyway, so I got a list that I found this morning, just came out today, that I thought was pretty interesting. It's on Collider, and it is a list of 7 sci-fi shows to binge if you love Star Trek. So I figured we'd go through this list, see if we watched any of these shows. First one is Farscape.
Okay, yeah.
Have you seen that?
Oh yeah, yeah.
Okay, do you think that's a good one, or if you like Star Trek?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, it's a very quirky show, and like if you're going back and watching that show right now as opposed to when it aired, you really have to just muddle through the first season before you get to where you can kind of enjoy it. Because it's really it's a really tough, right, even though I like that show, I tried to go back and watch the first season, and that's hard. That's hard to do. It's kind of bad.
Yeah.
But once you get through that, it gets better. It does get better.
I watched maybe the first episode and I just no.
Yeah, the first episode's horrible. Like it's just like, what the? They might as well have just had the. Why are you not showing the strings? Because it feels like there should be strings. Like seriously,
Isn't that the one with the Jim Henson puppets?
It does have Jim Henson puppets in it. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I mean, they're not badly done. It's just, I don't know. There's something about it that comes off as like, well, we decided to do this show and we have $50 to spend on props. But somehow we got 100 and we did that instead. And still, like what? But once you, again, the characters are great. And the two main characters go on to be the main characters in the last few seasons, or the last 2 seasons anyway, of Stargate. Which, if you have a little John Crichton, yeah. And what's her name? The chick, the black-haired, she's in Stargate too, the last 2 seasons as well, in the movies.
Arinu Sun?
No. It's I'm gonna look it up real quick. I can't think of her name, but I loved her and Daniel Jackson's back and forth.
Okay.
At the very end there. I'll pull it up.
Okay. Well, the next show on the list is Babylon 5.
Oh yeah, definitely.
I'll just admit I've never seen it.
Oh, you got to watch that. Again, that's another one where it hasn't aged well. but it's very, very good. Claudia
You
Black,
know,
that's her name. Claudia Black.
okay.
She's fantastic. And she's good in that show too. But it's Ben Broder and Claudia Black, who at the end of the like the 9th and 10th season of Stargate, I love those interactions between Claudia Black and Daniel Jackson, Michael Shanks.
You know, like a year ago, I was looking to start watch Babylon 5, right when COVID started, because we were all in lockdown then. I figured, well, what the hell? Yeah. And couldn't find it anywhere. But
it's on HBO Max.
Yeah, I just looked. It's on HBO Max. Yeah.
Yep. That's where I've been. I kind of watch it every once in a while. I think I've almost at the end of season 1. But it's one of those things where if I can't figure out what else to watch, like in a hotel room, or just have running in the background while I'm doing something else in a hotel room or whatever, I'll put that on.
Oh, okay. Well, the next one is a complete trash show, but I'm sure you'll love it. Stargate.
Oh yeah, I gotta love that one too.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely love that one. It was sad to hear earlier this year when Cliff Simon passed. Ball, the actor who played Ball, I loved Ball's character. He was my favorite of all the Gould, just because he was a kind of a business guy, always in it for money, money and power.
That's funny.
Yeah.
The next one is a show. Honestly, I've never even heard of it. Dark Matter.
I've heard of it. I've never watched it. I believe I tried to watch part of a first episode, or maybe somewhere in the middle of it somewhere, just to see if it was any interest to me, and it just didn't hold my interest. So I don't remember if I watched the pilot or if I just tried to grab a show in the middle somewhere, but it's not one that ever really caught my interest.
So this says it's about
it's a British show, I believe.
Maybe, yeah. It doesn't say, but this says it's in the future. 6 people will wake up on a spaceship with no knowledge of who they are or how they got there, and they have to work together to discover the truth and how they can trust each other. And how can they trust each other? It's based off a comic book series of the same name.
Yeah, and I mean that sounds cool, right?
Yeah.
But it just, like I said, it didn't really. It doesn't have anybody in it you would know. Like no main actors or actresses. I think it only was on for 2-3 seasons, and that was it.
3 seasons.
Yeah, so 2015 to 2017, that was it.
Yeah.
No season 4.
The next one is from.
But there is one I do know. I didn't realize Tori Higginson is on there. She's from Stargate Atlantis.
Oh, okay. Okay.
She plays the main commander of the base of Atlantis. What's her name? Short hair. What's her character's name anyway? Anyway, I can't think of her character's name, but yeah, no, Tori Higginson. Didn't realize she was in Dark Matter.
Next one they say is a very underrated sci-fi show called Killjoys.
Never heard of it.
It's about bounty hunters, and they travel around space hopping. It says kind of sounds almost a little bit like Cowboy Bebop if they're like space bounty hunters, but.
It's a Canadian space adventure drama series that aired on the Space Channel in Canada. That sounds.
Hey, the Moose says you need to get in the ship, eh?
Yeah. The series ran for 5 seasons, ending in 2019.
Yeah, there you
Started
go.
in 2013. Interesting. I never heard of it.
Neither have I. I mean, maybe that's one to check out then.
Yeah, why not? I mean, I'm always down for just watching something if it piques my interest, great.
Yeah. Is it streaming anywhere? Let's see. Killjoys.
I don't know. I know after we get done with the show, I'm going to go watch the latest of My Hero Academia with my daughter. That's a show that we constantly watch every weekend now that season 5 is airing.
Oh, really? I haven't.
That's a fun show.
Okay. So
it's anime, but it's a fun show.
Okay.
So,
looks like they're all on sci-fi channel.com or sci-fi.com. Yeah. And they're right there for free streaming. So cool.
Oh yeah. I see it now. Interesting.
Next show, little show, little show called The Mandalorian. Perhaps you may have heard of such things.
Oh yes, that's a good one.
It's soft-eyed indie movie, Star Wars.
Yep.
Yeah.
We've talked about that one at length. Yeah. If you haven't watched that, what the hell's wrong with you? Go get your free 7-day trial to Disney Plus and watch all of it right now in 7 days. I mean, that's crazy. And you're going down this list now and thinking about this, if the show The Expanse is not on this list, then that list is shit.
Well, we're on the last one.
Okay.
So let's see if if the Chad prophecy is fulfilled. The last show on here is Battlestar Galactica.
Well, yeah, you should watch the. You got to have the Expanse on there. Come on.
Well, apparently Killjoys need to be on there.
Jeez, now that makes it even worse.
Well,
and Farscape shouldn't be on there for this kind of a list either. Now that I'm kind of going back and looking at Farscape's great, but I mean, still, there's if you're going to make a list of here are the ones you should go watch if you're a Trekkie, then I would not put Killjoys on there, and I would not put Farscape on there, and I would put the Orville on there because you haven't mentioned that.
Yeah, I think you could get rid of Dark Matter and Killjoys and put the Orville and
yeah,
in
the Expanse, or how about Firefly?
Yeah.
Now that I'm really thinking
Firefly's
about it.
not on here. Yeah.
Now that I'm really thinking about it. I mean, I know it's only one season, but you've got the season and you've got the movie. So
yeah.
And they're excellent. They're fantastic.
They are pretty good.
It's the greatest show in the verse.
Mm-hmm.
As he says.
Yes. So yeah, so that's the list. Thought it was a fun little list to go through.
You know, another one that was really good, but I've yet to find. I can't think of this. It was on Sci-Fi Channel. I can't think of the name of it. I've yet to. I don't think I ever watched the final season. And I know it's not airing anymore. But it was a show on Sci-Fi Channel. It was really, really good, and it was about aliens that had come to Earth. They had terraformed the planet. It was all based out of like following a law guy in St. Louis area, but St. Louis didn't, and the whole surrounding landscape did not look like that anymore. Sci-Fi Channel.
Sci-Fi Channel St. Louis.
Shows list. Yeah, exactly. Oh yeah, and I still haven't watched Resident Alien yet, which looks funny. Okay. Oh man, this is gonna be so hard to find. Alphas was good. That's another one.
I've never even heard of that.
Oh man, you should go watch that. I mean, that's if you were ever going to have people suddenly start to have superhuman abilities or things like that, that is probably the most realistic take on television anyway that there has ever been. Alphas was great.
I would say season 1 of Heroes, and then you're done. Don't watch any of the other seasons. But season 1 of Heroes is pretty good.
That's true.
Yeah.
Defiance. That might be it. Defiance.
Defiance is the one that was based off a video game, right?
I don't think so. Oh yeah, it was really MMOG. This might be it. This might be.
Okay.
Yeah. Defiance. Yeah, that was a great show.
That was a great
show. There's only 3 seasons. Last one aired in August of 2015. Yeah, I got to go back and watch that because I know I didn't see, or maybe I saw part of the 3rd season and not all of it. But yeah, that is a great.
You know what's not on this list that should be, especially if you like Star Trek? Sequest. Let's talk to some dolphins.
I was actually thinking about that, but I wasn't going to say anything because that show is good and bad, right? Yeah. I mean, it literally has a Wesley Crusher in it. I mean,
but good and bad is kind of the Star Trek way.
Yeah, this is true. I mean, if we're being honest here, that's true. But I mean, they could have taken that entire. Well, they did. They took that entire season and said, we like TNG so much, and we can't make TNG ourselves, so let's just do TNG underwater and have it be all the same type of stuff. Right? That's pretty much what they did. Yeah. So yeah, Define. I can't believe I could not recall the name of that. Oh, The Magicians. That's another good one. But that's not really anything to do with Star Trek, but it's just a good sci-fi show.
Well, should we talk a little bit about that? Like, what have we been watching lately? What has been,
Sure, that's kind of what we've been doing. But yeah, sure. We can get into that. I mean, really, this is, like I said, this is just a supplemental, and we're just bullshitting for a while.
Yeah.
We're having fun.
So I just finished last night. So there was the new Borat movie, and then they came out with the extra supplemental stuff, which was really funny to watch.
Yeah.
Very interesting. Very interesting.
Yeah, I have not brought myself to watch that yet. I watched his first one he did where he introduced Borat and did all, and that was funny, and that was pretty good. I don't know if I necessarily want to watch the second one. I don't know. So
the one thing that was funny is, so at one point in the second film, he goes and lives with these very right-wing conspiracy theory guys who are like into like Hillary Clinton eats babies kind of people. and so like they took that footage and made an extra like bonus thing out of it. And what was really funny is, so they systematically went through and they had experts kind of debunking all the conspiracy theories that the guys believe. They actually like talked to the guys one-on-one to kind of explain it. So it was very interesting. And they even get the last episode, they're like 7 minutes each, is they're talking about Hillary Clinton, and they have Hillary Clinton talk to the guys.
Oh no. Oh, I have to watch that. I have to watch that.
It's really funny, especially the way it ends.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
I can only imagine. I have to go watch that. I do have to go watch that.
Yeah. It's if you don't watch the movie, it's fine. You don't really need to. Just the supplemental stuff.
Just go watch the supplemental, yeah.
Yeah.
I'll try to watch at least that tonight. I got time.
It's
Memorial Day weekend. I got time. I'll make time.
The whole thing, like, because it's like one big episode, which is like 20 minutes, and then the smaller episodes are like 7 minutes each, and there's maybe 6 of them, so it goes quick. I watched the whole thing in like an hour. So.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah. Pretty
I'll
funny.
try to do that.
Yeah.
If I don't get to it this weekend with everything else, I'll definitely get to it this week when I'm on the road, because I'm going to be in Chicagoland for the week.
There you go.
Yep.
You got to go to that hot dog stand in Chicago, the one where they treat you like crap on purpose.
Yeah. It should be open again, right?
Yeah.
It should be down there somewhere. So
yeah,
I'll try to do that. Oh, if I do that, I will try to take video of myself doing it, and then we can post it to the group and on Twitter or something. Kind of like that video I gave you last night. I mean, I'm not trying to make fun of that guy who was skating at the roller rink, but then again, he's some kind of special to be able to just go out there and be himself right in front of everybody while people are doing the limbo. Yeah,
that's cool.
Yeah, so kudos to him for just being himself, and who gives a shit, right? But at the same time, you should be in Napoleon Dynamite too, sir. So
I just love the idea. Like, so I was making fun of the guy at the skating rink. Like, that sentence alone is kind of amazing.
Right, because I was at the skating rink.
Right,
called the Rink Rats.
That's like, you won't believe the nerd at chess club. Oh, really? Do tell.
Do tell, yeah. You won't believe what this guy did to my spreadsheet,
Yeah, exactly. Like that.
Oh boy.
Yeah. What else? I watched that Army of the Dead, the Zack Snyder zombie movie.
Oh yeah, with what's his name, who plays Drax?
Batista? Yeah.
Yeah, Dave Bautista.
Yeah. That's all sorts of terrible.
Is it?
Because if you think about it for more than a minute, there's so many more questions than answers.
Yeah. I don't think I've ever enjoyed anything that Dave Bautista's been in other than Guardians of the Galaxy.
I loved him in wrestling.
Yeah, I'm not a wrestling guy, but
yeah.
That's the problem though. Like, I've heard him say too many things outside of movies that just make me want to just not watch anything he does.
Yeah. I like him. There was that movie Hotel Artemis, I think it is, with Jodie Foster. That was pretty good.
Was Jodie Foster in that too?
Yeah.
It feels like everybody was in that movie.
Yeah.
I haven't watched it. That's one that's like on my Netflix list or whatever. It's a list somewhere that I'll never watch, but I want to. Like, every time I think about it, it's like, yeah, I want to watch that. And then that night when I go to watch something, it's like, nah, I don't feel like watching that. I feel like watching something else. Or I just go watch Trek, or I go watch Battlestar, or whatever.
It's very much trying to be John Wick, for sure.
Oh, but, I'm sure.
But it's good.
Isn't there a movie that's in production right now with somebody who's the movie is basically a female version of John Wick?
There's a few of those. There was Atomic Blonde, which had one of the directors of John Wick in it. I saw a trailer for one today.
Was Atomic Blonde Charlize Theron? Was that the one? I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you. What'd you say? No.
Yeah, that one had Atomic Blonde had Charlize Theron. Yeah.
Okay.
And then there's
wrong. I have to say it correctly.
Milkshake.
Sorry.
Yeah. Gunpowder Milkshake has got Karen Gillan.
Gunpowder Milkshake. Never heard of that.
That's a girl, John Wick.
That sounds like a great smoothie.
Yeah, it does sound pretty good.
Yeah.
But it's got the Emperor in it. Michelle Yeoh's in it.
Oh.
Yeah. So
that would be good because that lady kicks ass.
well, it doesn't look like she's the main star. She's just in it still.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You want
but
to
that looked pretty decent.
you want to make a scene interesting? Just stick Michelle Yeoh in it. She doesn't
No
even have to say
kidding.
anything. She just have to look at you. I mean, you're done.
Well, she's going to be in the Shang-Chi movie.
Yep.
Yeah, that'll be cool.
Yep.
Yeah.
She's
There's a
great.
theory that she's going to be the Death Dealer. The person that wears that mask that trains Shang-Chi.
Oh.
That's
I know
really
nothing. Cool. I know nothing about that comic series or that.
I don't know anything about it either.
Nothing, not at all.
That and the Internals, I have no clue.
Man, I see. That was the trailer that dropped? Well, another trailer anyway for the Eternals that dropped here. Yeah, and I watched that, and it's like, God, this looks like the television show they tried to do that they wound up canceling because nobody watched the trash.
The one with Bike.
Yeah, the one with Anson Mount. Yeah.
So
I don't know.
The only thing I would say about it is apparently they had no plans to make it, but the director came to them with the pitch. And they were just like, "Wow, that's really good. Okay, let's make it." So, yeah,
the best movies start that way, don't they?
Yeah. Well, and she's the current director of the year. Like she won the Oscar for best film, best director. So, I don't know. Maybe it's their Oscar bait movie. You know, because they need one.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah, we'll see.
It is definitely going to be an interesting year for film and cinema, even more so than last year.
Well, it's a lot of things that have been held back.
Right.
So we're just getting stuff off the shelf right now.
Right. Or we're getting back into production where they weren't all year last year. So
right.
So yeah, I mean, it's going to be interesting to see how it all plays out. I've always wanted to do like a movie draft for the three of us, or maybe even with listeners somehow. And I don't really know how we would do it, but I've always wanted to do a movie draft. And what you do with that is at the end of the year, you come up with, 50 movies that are going to come out over the course of the following year. And you go through and you get to draft each one of those movies, right? And then you figure out, it's like you're drafting your team and you draft those based off of who's going to make the most amount of money over the course of the year. And then you just as you go throughout the year, you figure out who's going to wind up winning that, right? And you put $5 into a pot, or you do something, but it all comes down to the person who had the biggest money making year with whatever movies he drafted, right? So
I know there's an app where you can do that. There it is on the Apple Store, Movie Draft SE.
Oh, cool.
And you can make your own league and draft your own. Yeah. Oh no. Okay, that's screenwriting.
Well, we should do something like that. We should figure out something like that. Find an app or whatever, and start putting something in place for later in the year to do for next year.
Here we go. Daily fantasy sports style games for movies. Cinema draft. Think of DraftKings Goes Hollywood. There you go.
Yeah.
Cinema draft is free to play.
So. Can you create your own little league inside of there with your buddies, or does it have to be just a public thing?
I'm gonna have to really look at it to tell you for sure, but
okay.
Yeah, it looks like you could.
Interesting.
So, if not, somebody's got to have that. So.
Oh, I'm sure there's something somewhere. If not, we can come up with something easy enough. I mean,
yeah,
I've become a master at Sheets in Google Sheets. So.
Nice. Yeah, I'm sure. So that would be fun. Yeah.
Cool. We'll come up with something. I mean, these are all the kinds of things we're going to be able to sit and talk about and spitball when we're in Vegas. I mean, I can't wait. It's going to be great. It's going to be just nonstop. I'm never going to sleep. I'll sleep on the drive home.
There you go.
All 22 hours of it.
Yeah. Oh man.
One way, 22 hours. Holy shit. So.
I was looking at hotels over there, and I found out this phenomenon that I did not realize about Vegas. So they will tell you the price of the room per night, and then when you go to pay for it, every hotel, it seems like, adds like an additional like $100 or $150 on top of it, and it's their convenience fee or whatever they call it.
Yeah, I wonder how that's going to work with me using my points, because I think for the 3 or 4 days I was looking at whatever it is. It's like 115,000 points, which I have. But I wonder if you book all that with points, can they just still? They can't charge you after that. That's what they said you're using your points for. They can't go back and bill you on top of that. I don't know, but
I bet they'll try.
They're not going to get away with it with me.
Yeah.
Good luck. I'm walking out the door. You don't have my card. I used points. F off.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that'll be interesting.
Yeah. So we'll see. And I'm still trying to get a hold of the convention to see about what we can do.
Yeah, I was going to ask you about that. Like, it seems those guys,
they don't answer.
Well, not only that, but it's like they start to plan for this thing like 6 weeks before is what it feels like. Because every time we have talked to them in the past, it's like, oh, we're too far out. What do you mean it's June? This thing's in August. Oh, yeah, it's too far out for us to start planning for that yet. Are you effing kidding me? Like the minute the show is over, you start planning for the next year. What the hell?
And I'm wondering if when they tell us that, they're just blowing us off.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. Well, you would think they would want to take our money for whatever they might think they can take our money for, right? I mean, you would think that.
You would think that, and you would think that they would want the free advertisement on the show.
You would think so.
Yeah.
Well, they're getting it anyway.
Yeah.
They're getting the free advertisement anyway.
They know that.
And who knows what they're going to do after this year anyway, because CBS, Viacom, and those guys have pretty much taken that circuit over with their first.
They want to have their own thing.
They want to have their own Trek thing, period. And so that's going to start next year in Chicago.
Yeah.
So in April, I think, March or April. I forget which one.
Like
yeah. So I will be at that one because that's a short drive for me compared to what I normally do. Well,
and I'm pretty sure that's when we'll get the year of Star Trek. That's when the first year we'll get it.
23. Yeah, 2023. Yeah. You bet. You bet. And I would imagine they might even, other than season 2 of Lower Decks, which comes out in August, right around the time of the convention.
Well, and they said we would get Discovery this year. But again, that could mean the last weekend of this year.
Yes. Yeah, that means like December 31st or whatever.
Right
around Christmas.
So technically it's still 2021, but
correct. But I would think that if they're smart, because what they've always wanted to do is this whole year, right? Something going on. So if they're smart, other than letting Lower Decks drop in August, which that might just be when they always drop it, is in August.
Yeah.
You know, August and September, which is smart. You know, it's a light cartoon Trek show. You know, drop it in there when there's nothing else really new on to really soak up the audience attention. So that's smart.
And we still got the Janeway show, the
Prodigy,
Prodigy. So who knows when
that could come on whenever.
Yeah.
But I mean, really, you would have Discovery basically the first 2 months of next year, followed by Strange New Worlds, right? Followed by Picard or whatever, right? And so if you space those Prodigy, out,
and then you got Lower Decks.
Another Lower Decks. I mean, that doesn't sound like a whole year, does it?
Well, they've got Section 31 in the works somewhere, allegedly.
Yeah, I don't know. We'll see.
And if they do Cisco at some point.
Well, you really got to have. I mean, break it down, right? So there's 4 quarters in the year, 3 months in each quarter. So you really got to have a show per quarter because you can space it out a little bit or have a break of a week or whatever to say it takes up those 3 months.
Yeah, but if you want to go every week, you need 2 shows per quarter because each show is only like 12 episodes.
Correct, right? And so then you would need 8 shows going.
Right.
And they've only got 5, right?
So they need 3 more.
Strange New Worlds, Discovery, Picard, Lower Decks, Prodigy. And I don't really count Prodigy because it's a kid's show that's on a separate thing than the regular 4 in terms of just this constantly going. But I guess you could count it that. So, yeah, they would still need 3 new shows. That's a lot of production.
Honestly, they need to do some reality-based ones. Like, I'm serious. Like, they need to do, okay, so there's been rumors and they haven't really gotten that far with it, but like Star Wars is going to do like the Young Jedi Academy, and it's like a game show for kids, and they're going to have the theory is basically it's Double Dare, but for kids with Jedis and whatever. And what's his name? The guy that played Jar Jar Binks is going to host it. who knows if this really happens, but this
Yeah.
is what they were saying. So you could do something like that and do the Starfleet Academy, and you
Yeah.
could do like it's part Jeopardy and part Double Dare with physical challenges, you know, and come up with something. You could bang out 12 episodes of that. There's another show, very cheap, and it's
Yeah.
just
Yeah.
done. You know,
That's a good
they
point.
own Nickelodeon. They can repurpose a lot of those sets and make it the Starfleet Academy.
Oh, definitely. Very easy with not as much money. I mean, obviously those reality shows don't cost a whole hell of a lot of money to produce as like anything else does.
There's a reality show right now going on I think it's A&E for WWE, where they've been going around uh, meeting collectors of WWE memorabilia, right? And talking about the memorabilia and all that. You could do that exact same thing with Star Trek. And there's another reality show. Show off people's collections, talk about the history of like this prop that they own or signatures or a movie poster, whatever,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. Yeah.
That's an easy show to do too, and cheap.
They could even
Call it Quark's Treasure Hunt. I don't know, whatever.
yeah, whatever. Yeah, they could do that. I mean, there's a lot of things they could do. I think one of the things that I would be interested, I actually really that because all that stuff is whatever. I'm not really that interested in watching it, but it's cool. It's a good idea. I'm sure a lot of people would be interested. I'm just not. But I think one that would be good that I would be interested in would be a reality show where you're going around talking to almost like a documentary a little bit, where you're going around talking to all the writers that have been involved with Trek over the years, all the fans that have been heavily involved with Trek over the years, these all the cons that have been put on, kind of a history of that. Yeah, almost like just make a show that's the history of Trek, period, right? And just because you've got access, because your backline got access to everything.
You've got all the history.
You've got everything, right?
Yeah.
And so just put a show like that together. It doesn't even need to be. See, that's you could almost do that with the short treks too, right? Where you just have a little short 5-10 minute thing that comes on in between those shows you've got going to stretch them out a little bit in terms of your year of Trek, right? That's a very cheap, easy thing to do, but still give you new content every single week that's Trek centric, right?
Shit, you know what you really could do? If you want to get people to watch and do okay. Just an idea. Do a showcase of Star Trek fan films and have like an actor introduce them like fucking Elvira style,
Yeah.
And showcase a few of those.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
You would constantly have new content for that.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Big time. And the fans would love it. We would all eat it up.
They'll eat it up. It'll be a make good for everything that happened with Axanar, but put their spin on it and reingratiate them to the community.
Yep. See, this is why apparently the bigwigs at Viacom CBS are complete and total fucking idiots, because the two of us can sit here and come up with a better plan than what we've seen out of them so far, right? I mean, not to put any of the shows down, because they all have been okay so far, right? I mean, obviously we have issues with Discovery, but Discovery is what got us to here, so we all have to kind of go along with that.
David Byrne knows what's up.
Yeah, David Byrne. But I mean, seriously though, the overall plan of what they're doing is so you can't tell. That's like, what is it?
Yeah, and I mean, it's the same issue with the DCU. It's just frustrating. Like, there's no cohesive plan to know. Whereas,
there's not one. Yeah, there's not one per. That's what the problem is, right? This is why Marvel's been able to do it correctly, and everybody else has done a mess of it. Is because there's not one person at the helm trusted by the execs to just do what you think is right with it. We're going to give you time and space to do it. If we see results over time, then great. We'll let you keep doing it. If we don't see results over time, whatever that time frame is, then we might make a change, right? But I mean, you've got some time here. Do something with it. But have one person who's directing all of it instead of this. We're going to write a movie by
committee,
board member fiat, and by budget line only, or by whatever. And so then you wind up with a mess.
Well, yeah, and that's why, like, at the end of Discovery and Picard and all that, there's like 20 producers because that's the committee. Yeah. It's crazy. But I will say this, for the DCEU, it's looking up, because if the deal with Discovery goes through, that's exactly how Discovery runs their operation. They've got somebody who runs the food channel, and they tell that person, you know what's up with food. You make the shows you want to make. We will support you. They've got somebody who handles the reality shows. You know reality TV. You do those things. So hopefully that improves things for the DCEU. So
yeah, maybe
we'll see. Yeah, I'm holding out hope.
There's always hope, right?
That's right. So
always hope.
Was that the show?
I think that's a show. Yeah. I think that's a show. It was good. That was good. That was longer than I thought it'd be, which is fine. But good times, Dan, man, as always. Yeah. Now we've made good content for Dan.
Yes.
What does he always say? Well, he always says, I love Trekcast so much. I'm always ready to listen to new Trekcast that I wasn't in.
Right. Here you go, Dan.
Yep.
Yeah.
Just for you.
Yes.
Well, all right. Well, awesome as always. Yep. Everybody have a good week. We'll see you here next weekend. Maybe. I don't know. I'm up, like I said, I'm up for doing one every week, but every once in a while, I know we kind of have things going on personally that we need a break in between. But so maybe we'll see you next week. Maybe we won't. As again, it's Trekcast, the galaxy's most unpredictable Star Trek podcast, where we talk about anything and everything, and Trek holds it all together.
Indeed.
I'm Chad. That's Daniel. You can email us at trekcasttng@gmail.com. Chad is wrong @gmail.com. You can call us anytime and leave us a voicemail. We haven't had one of those in a long time.
Yeah.
Shit, what is the phone number? It's something. Hold on. I'll look it up.
I was like, oh, I bet he's got the number up ready to go.
Well, I had it in my head, but it's so close to my work phone number.
Oh.
I mean, it really is that it throws me off. Like, seriously, there's like 3 digits that are different, and that's it. So it's like, I don't know how that happened, but it really drives me nuts. So Trekcast phone number 816-287-0448. Call us anytime and leave a voicemail about anything, and we will play it right here for everybody to listen to. Because it'll go right through, just like the soundboard does, right?
Right.
So it'll go right through here, and then of course we'll be able to say,
"You're killing me, Smalls."
Just like that. So fun times. Obviously, you can go over to the Facebook group where a third of the show happens. So it's Trekcast. Go follow us there. We've got a website, trekcast.com, that probably needs some tender loving care because I don't think I've posted an update on there for months. I keep saying that, and I keep meaning to go over there and do it, and I just don't. So
gotta do it, man.
I got to do it. I'll make time to do it this weekend. That's another thing I'm gonna put on my list.
There you go.
I'll write it down on my list. So, all right, that's all we got. Oh, the Instagram as well. Trekcast TNG. Daniel's Instagram over there, Trekcast TNG, is fantastic. If you're not following that, you should be, along with 3,000 other people.
Crazy.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's hysterical. That's good. It's better than the the Star Trek ship posting almost. So
there's a lot taken from there.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Yeah. Yeah. All right.
All right. Well, anything else, buddy?
Thanks for listening, everybody.
Yep.
All right. Bye.
Hey, take care, man.
Well, there you have it, another episode in the can. Check us out at Trekcast.com. Also, if you would, please subscribe to us via iTunes. Leave those reviews, subscribe to us, we'll get some numbers, get up the list, get more listeners, do more shows, have more fun. But for now, we're all done. So live long and prosper, and we'll see you next week.
Star Trek, oh, I'll be your Star Trek girl. I'll be your Star Trek, be your Star Trek girl. I'll be your Star Trek, oh, I'll be your Star Trek girl. I'll be your Star Trek, be your Star Trek girl. Let's run away to a time that's not yet past. You and I will grab our phasers and have a blast. Up in the stars, traveling at the speed of light. We'll go to Vulcan and I'll mind meld you tonight. I wanna take you to Kronos for some wine. Up in the stars, floating way above Cloud 9. On the Enterprise's
Jean-Luc Picard, and we can travel warp speed on through the stars. We can fly to Romulus, and there I'll ask if you like to see the world through Geordi's glasses. Speak Klingon when I talk to you, and we can live long and we can prosper too. You got a TOS, you might need it, but there's no need to call, just beam me up.
You know that I want you, you know I do. I'll be your Star Trek, oh, I'll be your Star Trek girl. We'll go where no one's gone before. I'll be your Star Trek, be your Star Trek girl. I'll be your Star Trek, oh, I'll be your Star Trek girl. I'll be your Star Trek, be your Star Trek girl. I'll be your Star Trek, oh, I'll be your Star Trek girl. I'll be your Star Trek, be your Star Trek girl. Tessa to Enterprise, beam me up.